Back through Gibson, then to Daly. Quickly away to Anderson. Loose pass, which was picked up very well on the bounce by Bob Keogh, but then going to be lost and into touch. Treston getting his pass back to Alan Davison, who did well to slip that pass away, and North Queensland on the burst again. A little kick over the top by Mark Anderson. The bounce doesn't favour either of the North Queensland players coming through. And the penalty, in fact, is going to go to Toowoomba for North Queensland being ruled to be offside. And so Rickards again from right in front. And once again makes no mistake. So the Marlins get to a lead of 4 points to 0. Lindenberg is the acting halfback. Knocked backwards, says the referee. This is Peter Gill. Gill's got support, got it back inside to Kelly. Can he unload? He can. Got it back through Hannah, then it goes away across field through Lindenberg, on to Mill. His pass out to Robert Clevens. Still going the little winger and dives for the corner, and he's in. Some bad defence by North Queensland. Toowoomba keeping the play alive. North Queensland prepared just to hang off them and not go into tackle, and Robert Clevens it is who scores the try to level the scores up at 4-all. I'm sure that defence of North Queensland wouldn't be pleasing Will Cordwell too much.
No, I think especially after North Queensland having so much of the ball, I think they might have relaxed their defence a little bit, and as you can see, Toowoomba scored a very good try.
The Toowoomba starting to put it together. This is Buckle. They're 15 metres into North Queensland territory. And a penalty goes to Toowoomba against the North Queensland backs for being well up inside the 5. As the hooter sounds for the quarter-time break. Quarter-time, the Toowoomba Clydesdales 6, leading the North Queensland Marlins 4. On halfway, the ball is played back through Kelly. Lindenberg using the kick, sending Rod Brunker back. It bounces, and he picks it up just before it went over the touchline. Luckily he did, because the scrum, it had bounced in the field of play. There would have been a scrum just before the halfway mark. Played back through Daly, then on to Scarpelli. Had to take the tackle of Achilles. Gibson gives it back inside to Baker. Looked to turn it back outside to Gibson. Couldn't get his pass away as he was tackled by Ridge. Daly on to Anderson, then to Finlay, on to Joshua Geyer. The Palm Island centre almost through. Just short of the quarterway. He plays it back. From the dummy half goes Brett Johnston, and he'll be tackled. North Queensland putting up the bomb. Up for it is Peter Gill, loses it backwards. Clevens is there to get it. He loses it as well, eventually picks it up. Knock backwards, says the referee. Play on, going to be lost again by Toowoomba, and eventually we'll have a scrum for the knock on. Bit of a fight breaking out. A few punches thrown, but breaks up pretty quickly. So Peter Tranter knocking on, and we'll have a scrum. 10 metres from the Toowoomba line. McDaly to feed the scrum for the Marlins. Daly coming to the blind side. The referee says he wanted it again. Here it is again. Robert Clevens giving the pass away to Peter Tranter. And a knock on, and here's a penalty to North Queensland. Right in front, but it'll be a differential penalty, even though it's for the backs being offside. It's actually classed as being from the scrum, so it has to be just a tap.
A good chance here for North Queensland to score a try if they can just settle the ball down for 3 or 4 rucks.
Scarpelli going from dummy half, was able to get his pass back to Bob Keogh. Keogh plunged over the line, but the pass had gone forward. This is Achilles. On to Buckle, who's tackled. Midway between the quarter and halfway in their own territory, the Clydesdales. Lindenberg out to Geimer. Loses the ball as he was knocked to ground. North Queensland will come up with it. Ross Gibson takes it back inside Toowoomba's quarterway. He loses it. Eventually Treston able to come up with it, but a scrum for the knock-on by Ross Gibson.
I think both teams need to settle their play down here and really control the ball. little bit better than they are right now, and just hang on to the ball for 6 tackles and just settle down. Both teams are trying to push the ball all the time, make the passes that aren't really on.
Fed to the scrum by Sam Achilles. Dives on it as well. He's the captain coach of the Wattles Club in the Toowoomba competition. Spun out wide to Kelly with a bit of room to move. Gary Kelly looking for support back on the inside. He's got Tranter with him. Gives it now to Peter Tranter. Brunker coming across in cover defence. He steps back inside. He's still got support. Gives it to Greg Milne. Milne is being chased. Held on to and eventually will be thrown to ground by Brett Johnson. Only 2 metres from the line. Back through Tranter. Then it comes away to Colin Lindenberg and he'll go in and score right underneath the post. North Queensland had simply run out of defenders and Col Lindenberg goes in to score.
It was very good work on the on behalf of Toowoomba earlier on, where they made a very long break up the outer touch line and passed the ball back inside a couple of times.
And Toowoomba get away to a lead of 12 points to 4. So Brad Rushton on to replace Les Ridge in the Toowoomba lineup. It'll kick being put through by Brunker. It'll be taken by Gary Kelly. Kelly 10 metres out from his own line. Turns it back to Peter Gill. Gill straight up the centre he goes. He gets to Brunker. Brunker holds on to him, but Gill will still get the pass back to Brod Geimer. Geimer is able to turn it away again to Col Lindenberg. Lindenberg still running. He slips it back to Bill Holmes. He turns it back to Lindenberg. The little fella still going. Turns it back to Achilles, who didn't know much about that. Away it goes to Greg Milne. Milne looking for support. He's got support on the outside and Robert Clevens, and he'll go in and score. That is a good try. The North Queensland players, though, by the same token, are walking. But well done to Toowoomba keeping that ball alive, and Clevens goes in to score try number 2 for this match.
Yes, I think that try was more a mistake or bad defence on North Queensland part than really good attack by Toowoomba. Admittedly, Toowoomba worked very hard and the players kept backing up, but the defence just wasn't there for North Queensland.
And this man really instrumental in making that try, setting up the initial break, Peter Gill. He's a fine player, as is this young fella, Brod Geimer. And of course, little Col Lindenberg, well, you've got to put him on the ground. You just can't afford to let him run. And there he is, involved twice in this action before spinning it back to Achilles. And he did the right thing. He was standing still, so he just kept flipping it on its way to Milne, who got it away to Robert Clevens. And Clevens goes in to score in the corner. A good Toowoomba try. His kick is up and over. Toowoomba 18, North Queensland 4 at half-time.
You're watching the NEC Big Game. Quickly recapping on the first half of North Queensland and Toowoomba. 2 penalty kicks for North Queensland by Mark Richards. For Toowoomba, 2 tries for Robert Clevens on the wing, and also 1 try for Col Lindenberg and 3 goals as well. 18-4 was the half-time score in scrum. 7-6 North Queensland way, and also penalty count 6-5 North Queensland. We'll now pick up play in the 7th minute of the second half.
Ross Gibson puts it high into the air. Picked up there by Robert Clevens just before it went over the dead ball line, and he starts to run. Gets away pretty easily from Paul Finlay. A little winger up the touchline, decides to go back in field. He's chased by Joshua Guy, but got his pass brilliantly away to Gary Kelly, who's trying to wrong foot Brett Johnston. He's still running. Kelly gets inside the quarterway of North Queensland, and eventually Brunker is there to pull him to ground. He's having a top game, little Robert Clevens. Ball to be played forward, in fact, by Kelly, and he loses it. So Mick Daly, the North Queensland halfback, comes up with it. He's still just 5 metres on his own side of the quarterway. Baker across field is tackled. Herbert gives it away through Gibson and on to Davison. They get out of their quarter, North Queensland. This is Herbert. Taken in a solid tackle. The Achilles coming in over the top. Underneath was Hannah. Anderson out wide to Joshua Geyer. Geyer able to get his pass away to Brett Johnston. Johnston wrapped up by Lindenberg. Final tackle coming up for North Queensland. Anderson. To Gibson, a loose pass. Herbert can't get it. And this, in fact, is going to be a penalty to North Queensland against Toowoomba, interfering with an unmarked player. So North Queensland get the penalty. Mark Anderson finds touch, or does he? Yes, in fact, it goes into touch in goal. Gibson, again, giving that pass away. Well, that's really just silly football by Ross Gibson. He should have more experience than that. It's just handing it to Toowoomba on a plate. Peter Gill, up the centre, looking for support. Still running Gill. He's got support on the outside in Bill Holmes. Gives it to Holmes now, and the hooker will go in and score. That certainly will wrap it up for Toowoomba. And North Queensland can really blame Ross Gibson for that. It was a silly pass he tried to get away, and Toowoomba capitalise on it with Bill Holmes, the Pittsworth hooker, going in to score a try that takes it to 22 points to 4 and a kick right in front.
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, John, that's the second try in a row that Toowoomba have scored off a mistake by North Queensland, and North Queensland really can't afford to make those mistakes. The accolades must go to Toowoomba because they really are turning their defence into attack and being able to show some sparkle and score some good tries.
So Toowoomba go to a lead of 24 points to 4. Peter Gill goes in to be the acting halfback to Lindenberg. Lindenberg stepping, gives it back to Brod Geimer. Geimer still running, almost over. And in fact, going in to score, I think it's Buckle. No, it's not. It's John McEwen, in fact, the other prop forward. John McEwen going in to score right underneath the post, just barging in from dummy half. So Toowoomba 30, leading North Queensland 4.
Well, maybe Marshall might be able to settle the North Queensland players down. I think it's too late for them to win this game, but I think it's important for the rest of the state league if North Queensland can show a bit of form now and get back into this game.
And the referee says to Frank, you can have 5 minutes for your troubles in the sin bin. Cole Lindenberg, the kick for touch.
But Frank Baker has been one of North Queensland's better players today. He's definitely worked hard all day and tried to keep North Queensland in touch with Toowoomba, but unfortunately the class of the Toowoomba side is just too good.
Well, the hoot is gone, so Cole Lindenberg puts it straight into the air. Up for it goes Joshua Geyer. He can't get it. It's going to be picked up by Peter Gill. He'll give it away to Gary Kelly. Kelly going for the line, and will put it down. In to score, and North Queensland really shouldn't have allowed that try to be scored. Gary Kelly scores after the break. A good goal kicker. The Toowoomba Clydesdales leading North Queensland by 34 points to 4. This is Daly. Then through Davidson, on to Herbert. His pass away to Joshua Geyer. Gives it back to Herbert, but he can't handle it. North Queensland or Toowoomba will come up with it. Picked up quickly by Hadwin, who spins it out wide. Peter Tranter trying to break away from the North Queensland defence. Eventually tackled on the North Queensland quarterway. Brod Geimer loses it behind him. Holmes picks it up. Away to Gill. Gill turns it back to Schultz, running hard. Schultz is 12 metres from the line. He lost it backwards. And the referee rules it's going to be a knock-on. Just a reminder for our Queensland country viewers, you have the chance to win beautiful NEC video recorder. The prize we have in our Wednesday night State League competition of the Wednesday night game here at Lang Park. The question we asked last Wednesday night, who was the winner Manly 5-8 in last Wednesday's game against Valleys? Pretty well-known rugby league personality. Captains a few good sides like Australia. Toowoomba in possession. Peter Tranter is going to go for the line. We'll get it down, and that's a try. Peter Tranter in to score a try. Kick by Lindenberg. Is across the face of goal. No goal, so 38 points to 4 it remains. Frank Baker trying to put North Queensland's first try on the board. Back through Daly. Daly gets it away to Marshall Colwell, going for the line and over.
Since Marshall Colwell's been on the field, John, he's been able to settle the North Queensland players down and make them work a little bit harder and more determined for those points. But he goes across there for a very good try. Frank Baker, involved there again. But it's good, strong work there by Marshall Colwell.
So the conversion successful by Mark Rickards makes it 38 points to 10. Rod Geimer losing the ball. North Queensland to come up with it. Daly alerts his pass to Jim Cowell. Cowell tucks it up under the arm and decides to run. Now gives it back to Herbert. Met and thrown to ground just on the quarterway, put over by Rushton. Baker gives his pass back to Brunker. Then it comes through Herbert back to Daly. Marshall Colwell again decides if anyone's going to make the bust, he'll have to do it himself. Pops a pass over the top to Jim Cowell. He's a constructive player, Marshall Colwell. And in fact, they're going to go in and score a try. In fact, they're not going to score a try. Referee ruling that Mark Anderson lost it. Bounce ball. So it'll come back to the quarterway for, again, the tap restart by Toowoomba. Let's have a look at that again. As it comes away to Mark Anderson, he's over the line.
It's definitely a try in my book, John. Unfortunately, the referee couldn't see it from where he was, and real drop ball, but I think it's a very good try. Since Marshall Colwell's come on the field, he's been able to inspire the North Queensland players to settle down and really he's been able to lead the way himself. I think maybe they should have used him the first 20 minutes instead of the last 20 minutes. It might have had a marked effect in this game.
Yes, he certainly has made a difference, Marshall Colwell. Let's have a look at a different angle of the replay of that incident. Very close to the line, and Colwell running hard. Able to get a pass back over the top to Jim Cowell. Cowell standing, unloading it. We're back through Knuth, now on to Anderson, and here he is over the line. Can't really see it from there, but in fact, they're going to come back and score a try. Well, it was really a well-deserved try by North Queensland. Little Mick Daly, the halfback, going into score. They did deserve that try because I don't think there's much doubt that Mark Anderson should have been awarded that try a few moments ago. But Mick Daly going in to score the try. Perhaps Toowoomba have taken off the brakes. Here it is again, just shooting away from the base of the scrum. Toowoomba defence laying off him, and Mick Daly running in to score a solo try. Makes it 38-14, and the kick to come from right in front by Rickards.
Yes, just the transition between the North Queensland side in the last 20 minutes and then the first 60 minutes is absolutely amazing. They've settled down a great deal from early in the game, and really are starting to play really good football now. But unfortunately, Toowoomba already have 38 points on the board, and I really can't see North Queensland making up that difference now.
Rickards with his round-the-corner style. Up and over. Full-time score, 38-16. Toowoomba defeating North Queensland.